Hi, Thumos. Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. So I got to tell you this. Hope you guys really enjoyed the Brand Builder series because that's I really like that kind of stuff. And I realize those videos don't get a lot of views, and that's perfectly okay. But I think it's important for me to talk about stuff like that because it really is a part of self improvement that I believe is at the top. And I don't think that a lot of people want to hear that because it's easier just to go around and say, hey, do take cold showers and do intermittent fasting, go on leap method or whatever people do, stop drinking caffeine. It's easy to stop doing stuff, but it's actually really hard to start taking action in your own life. And it becomes even harder when you're going to show your face on camera, when you have to step up and talk in front of a group of people, when you have to talk on camera, when you have to get creative, when you have to learn how to tell stories, when you have to learn how to put your brand out there. That way it actually sticks in the minds of other people and people aren't just hearing your message and then forgetting about you. So there's a lot that goes into that. And, that's what I believe in 2020, man. Like, if you want to find self-actualization, if you want to find meaning, then build a brand. And if you think, oh, that's not for me, I don't want to be fake, dude, it's not being fake. All right? And more than ever, your brand, trust me, whether you like it or not, you are a brand. Right? You yourself are a brand. Okay? And it's how people perceive you. It's how it's the emotions that people feel when they meet you. It's what the employer thinks when he looks at your social media page. It's what the girl thinks when you get her number at the club or whatever, and then she goes and sees you on Instagram. It's all those things, man. So if you're unaware of your brand, well, then you're gonna get left behind. So all I'm saying is take what I have to say into consideration and don't just look for these easy ways out of like just doing a bunch of little things. Like where is that going to really get you at the end of the day? And you need to be aware of that, okay? So let's wrap up this brand builder series. Trust me, I'll be speaking out of it in the future. You better believe it because it's one of those things that means a lot to me because I've done it here. I mean, like again, I'll tell you, I started with no internet. I was using the library internet, and I had my Amazon tablet, a cheap Amazon tablet that I won from work, and I would use that and I would just start recording myself. And now we just hit 85,000 subscribers. Like that changed my life. Okay, but it took me a long time, a lot of pitfalls, a lot of learning on what to do, on what to not to do, on what to do differently, on how to actually turn that into something. What do you do with attention? What do you do when you capture attention? It's tough, man. How do you deal with hate? How do you deal with the hate these days? How do you keep yourself creative? How do you stay in the game? What's the goal? And so a lot of guys you'll figure it out. Sometimes you just figure it out naturally, organically, but it can take you a long time. Or you can figure it out quicker. But most times people just burn out. Like you see that happen to a lot of YouTube channels. They just burn out. Nothing comes of them. All right? I mean, nowadays you want to build a brand so that you get trust because selling is kind of dead. And a lot of you'll see a lot of these programs on YouTube that various people are selling. And what their programs usually teach you is some feel-good advice, which is not teach you anything, or it's teaching you sales. But sales these days in 2020 is dead. Sales is kind of irrelevant. Things sell themselves because of the internet. Okay, so it doesn't take intense sales techniques. You don't need to read a bunch of sales books. It's pretty much if people want your product, they want it. And people do research all the time to see, say it's a car. Like people are coming into the dealership and they know if they want that car right away. And you don't need to sell them. You just need to be nice, be presentable, have a good personality, and be willing to know a couple things and show them what they need. And then they buy the car. It's not that difficult. So don't think sales is too difficult. By the way, sales pays great. If you guys are in need of a job, getting into some sales position can be a game changer. All right, so keep that in mind. But the reason that I'm having this convo with you is because I want you to know that you need to start thinking about your future. And when you grow up, moving out of your parents' house is just the first step. Getting your own apartment is the first step. Okay, usually there's two routes. You go to school or you don't. You go to school or you don't. And then it's like, well, what do? Well, you get a job. You probably end up paid decently, hopefully, if you can find work. But nowadays it's tough, right? Or you can try to do your own thing. Both are difficult. Don't get me wrong. Both are difficult. Both have their pros and cons. There's a little bit more security if you go the original route, and which is completely normal because, we're humans. We want to seek comfort and avoid pain. And a painful experience is when you put your energy into something and you fail. So many of us are down to just go the 9 to 5, get paid, and try to be a good worker. And that's kind of how the world teaches you to go. That's why many people don't want you to dream, and it's not like they care if you dream or not, but they don't encourage you. They don't really encourage you to do anything different. And anything different is usually met with some resistance because it's going off of the path that works for a lot of people. Okay? And by all means, I'm not here to deter you from doing something like that, but I'm just saying, you got to think about it. What are you doing? What are you doing with your future? Are you just letting it coast by? Or are you consistently learning? Are you upgrading? Are you becoming more valuable? Are you going to school? Or you're learning something? Okay? But even in that time, guys, you should be aware about your image, about how you look, about how you're presenting yourself, even on a day-to-day basis. Like, it could be a simple, like, I know that when I cut my hair, I just look better, right? People treat me better. But I know all the barbershops were closed. Is it shallow that people? No, it's not shallow. It's the way of human nature. There's different. It's how we remember things. It's how we size people up real quick. So you got to be aware of this, man. But there's something deeper here. And when you get like buying a cheap pair of clippers, I mean, that's a game changer. $30 for a cheap pair of clippers, that changes everything, dude. So anyway, you got to build your brand, is what I'm saying. You really do. And look, like just how I'm yo-yoing, like this, you're like, well, that's pretty cool, but kind of weird. But yeah, like that makes me unique. You know what I mean? You probably have something in your life too that also makes you unique. And you can actually take that thing that makes you unique and different, and you can turn that into your brand. But, a lot of people don't tell you that. They just want you to kind of hold things to yourself and, in your own little world. But what I think you should do is you should take what makes you unique and you should turn it into a brand. Especially these days, it's not that hard to really get 1,000 people that will dig your stuff. Seriously, like that really dig your stuff, and they will eventually support you and they will buy stuff from you. 1,000 people could support you for a lifetime. Really, it really could. But you have to be aware of your brand image, what you stand for. But think of that, man. Like a lot of people think you need to get on YouTube and get thousands of subs or hundreds of millions of subs. Be like PewDiePie, and it's just not the case. It doesn't have to be like that. So simply look at your interests, look at your hobbies, maybe some talents or skills that you have, and think how you can share that with someone in the world, or maybe someone in the world needs that, and it could be of benefit to them. Like, for instance, I started a yo-yo channel just because I think yo-yo is probably one of the best self-development tools, seriously, that you can do in your free time. Because all this is a bolt, like a bearing, string, and a piece of metal, and a little piece of rubber to bring it up. These don't usually come back up when you tug them. And what I do normally is listen to audiobooks when I'm yo-yoing, or I just will think. And thought is everything. Like a lot of these videos are made up because I'm yo-yoing and I'm thinking about one thing and I'm pulling it apart. I'm trying to understand it. Not only that, but learning different tricks, something that requires you to focus and really be present is what? Meditation. I mean, a lot of us do meditation where we're just sitting there doing nothing, but when you actually apply presence to something to try to learn, to try to understand something that requires this out of you, well, that's a better way to practice, I believe. And it's been a great thing. I actually want to. The reason I started the yo-yo channel is because I want to get a lot of people into yo-yoing. I want to teach beginners because, yeah, there is a learning curve. Even just winding it up takes you doing this to get it back. You don't just get to pull it up like one of those old ones. Doing something like this might take you a little while to learn, but it's super easy and satisfying. And it introduces this sense of flow into your life. So that's the reason I started the yo-yo channel. But again, when it comes to building your brand, that was just an idea that started in here from some weird hobby that I picked up because I decided to give it a try. And what that introduced me to was, well, eventually meeting the world yo-yo champion. And he actually gave me this yo-yo. Now, if I was to think, well, yeah, I'm going to start yo-yoing, say 5 years ago, I'm going to meet the world yo-yo champion? It's like, no, that sounds ridiculous. No, but now I got his phone number. I'm talking to him about business. He's giving me a yo-yo. He's saying, hey, man, we can actually come out with our own yo-yo. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty cool, man. Like, awesome. But what I'm saying is that starts from just an idea to build a brand. And, I want you guys to take the opportunity that you have. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. And people that do, listen here, people that do try to build their own brand are usually just copycats of someone else. And they're just like, they just take the same ideas and like make up your own stuff, man. Like, like for instance, NoFap. Like, I talked about NoFap a lot. I realized I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be known for that, even though I practice it. That's not what I'm all about. There's much more to this whole thing. So let me just rebrand it. Let me call it LEAP. Limit, ejaculation, and prawn. Like, dude, make your own stuff up. Don't just regurgitate. Have something that makes you stand out. And a lot of you guys are scared to like show the world what makes you stand out, but you can't be. Just like me standing up here yo-yoing, like, dude, people think this is nerdy. I'm just telling you straight up, it's one of the best self-improvement things. Help your focus, help you engage, help you have flow in your life, help you learn on the side. Like, it's amazing. No one's going to tell you this, right? So, like, just being honest, even if it seems nerdy, I don't care. I tell you to read fantasy books too. Part of the self-improvement, that's awesome. You need some heroic ideal to imitate, to sort of rub up against, to see, yeah, am I living up to that heroic ideal, right? And so it's good to have these figures. It's good to have this stuff in your life. So that's me telling you that. What about you? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man, to really create your community? Start a tribe. Start a tribe of people that are into the same stuff as you. That's why I told you start a Facebook group. All right? And you'll never know the 6 degrees of separation. All I had to do was meet one person, and he shows you him. He shows you him. Eventually, you meet someone that changes your life, a CEO that hires you, and he looks at your brand, or some friend that you have introduces you to another friend, and then they introduce you to this. I mean, even just me telling you this, like to start a brand. Like, I'm just one guy on the internet, and I'm telling you to start a brand, to get on camera, and then if you do that for a year or a couple months, then what happens? Who do you meet? Whose life do you change? And I'm not even taking the credit for that. I'm just saying I was just sort of the catalyst to put the idea in your head, and then boom, you ran with it. And now what does that do? You end up meeting, I don't know, say you're a gamer. Now you decide to start streaming new Call of Duty, Warzone, and then you meet Ninja next year. You never know. So like, you got to really expand the box that you're in, that the box of life, and you got to like push up against it. You got to see what comes out, because the world likes when you're in a cozy little box, because then you just pay your rent, you pay the bills, you go to work, and you get married, and you give your taxes. And it's a sweet little life, but it doesn't really make you at the peak of self-actualization, right? There's certain levels. There's the hierarchy. There's the base needs. There's the food, shelter, love, relationships, and relationships and stuff, and usually is where everyone settles down. But then there's self-actualization at the top, man, purpose. And I don't think many people discover that. I would go to say most people, probably 98% of people do not discover that. And why is that? Because it's too easy not to. It's too easy to settle down, to not really need to put yourself out there, to be, we're told all the time, we're entertained constantly. We don't need to do the entertaining. We don't need to do the entertainment because there's so much entertainment. We don't need to do the video game design because, well, there's so many video games. We don't need to build the product. We don't need to make the video. There's too many videos. Right? We're constantly told this. I'm telling you, it's not true. It's not true. Put your spin on things. Put the spin on things and show the world what's up, man. Show the world what's up. And if you're not, just realize you still are a brand. You need to take care of yourself. This is part of self-improvement. You need to get yourself together. It's how do you present yourself? How are you known? So stop coasting. That's what I'm saying. Stop coasting, man. And really, really make a decision to step up. And look, it doesn't come easy. Nothing good comes easy. That's just the way of life. So I'm actually mind blown. I get a lot of people saying, why aren't people watching me? Why aren't people subscribing to me? And I'm like, dude, well, fix yourself up first. Your message is just the same as someone else. Stop repeating this nofap stuff. Stop, do something different. Like, be a little bit better. Have a standout quality. Have a way to capture attention. You have no Facebook group. Why? What are you doing? You have no call to action, no CTA. Why? What are you doing with the attention? Where are you doing contests? Are you doing challenges? Are you giving them a mission? Are you having an opportunity for those people that are liking your stuff? Like, there's so many things that you just don't think about, and you think everyone's like really has a big ego, and I did too until I realized how difficult it is, and you just lose steam and you burn out. Okay, like you need help. You need people that are gonna be like, yep, stop doing this, okay, or you're gonna waste a lot of time. There's other things, there's little things you got to plug into, stuff that your parents don't teach you, stuff that the community doesn't teach you. No one teaches you because it's new. Like, the internet is still relatively new, and that's where we're operating on. So that's it, man. Create a brand. Get started right away, and it's going to be like a powerful thing. Even if it just helps like 100 people, well, that's 100 people that now you know and you meet, and now what does that do? What does that do for the future of your life? So think about that deeply. Think about what you can do differently than everyone else, and maybe somewhere that is like it's a new thing. No one's even there. Be a leader of something. Be a leader, because if you're just following in everyone else's footsteps, well, then you're just a follower. If you get there first, you're a leader, and then you really stand out, and then you take over. Then you occupy something, and then become famous for a word in someone's brain. You occupy new territory. Okay? So think about this, man. Now's the time. There's not too many people doing it. I'm trying to bust out all of these ideas you may have. Oh, there's too many people. There's too many people. Dude, even if you're into fitness, just do fitness for a little bit different. One of the guys in the group does fitness and movement for swimmers. Totally makes them better swimmers. And like, he's occupying that niche, which is just insane. We got another guy in the group that does Dungeons and Dragons mixed with like history, and he's like putting together this Discord, and people are doing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, dude, that's so freaking cool. There's this one guy, my dude Francisco, man, he's got 80s rock music. Just an awesome guitar player coming out with these 80s covers, all 80s. He's really narrowed in his niche. He's doing it differently though. He's doing like retro video game covers and stuff like that. He's got it down, dude. And I'm telling you, like, you guys can do this. You got to take the opportunities, though, man. You got to start now. You got to get focused. You got to be committed. You got to show up consistently. You can't just say, oh, what the hell, I'm going to record now in my room. Like, you got to kind of take some pride in your stuff. You got to put it together, all right? You got to get started now, then, man. Look, in the Momo Box group, you guys probably heard me talk about it. That's my business. That's what I'm doing. And we got a good crew going. And it's actually getting to the point where there's too many people for this one man that I am to be able to take care of everything. And even in the live talk, some of the live talks they're getting to the point where they're getting too big. And so there's a cap though, where there's only a couple people left that I'm allowing in because I don't want it to be so big. Because I want to know you by your first name. I want to help you. I want to actually, help you build your brand. And so the Momo Box is a different theme every month. Last month was the ARC Challenge. You probably saw me talking about the ARC Challenge a lot. That was a 30-day challenge where we all build our habits. I actually gave away $500 in cash prizes. We had a first place, second place, and third winner. So this month we're kind of doing something similar, doing a challenge. Whoever can really just get their brand up and running, get it taken off in 1 month. And it sounds like such a short time, but dude, I know that with a group of people that are coming together and that actually urge you forward is like the most powerful thing that you can ever have. It says it in the book. It says in the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Your community, your environment is everything. So it's like having this group of people just makes you a freaking creator, like a machine. Like you just get the little steps right. Like you start the Facebook page, you get the email list, you do your challenges, you're like, aiming at the right thing. You're thinking about the future. You're aiming at like finding your niche, not going too broad. You're trying to be known for something, try to be the leader in something. There's just a lot of these little blind spots that when you do it yourself, you do not think about. That's why this month I decided to call it Brand Builder, because it's what I've done here with just a seriously like a cell phone and some internet. And I know that so many people can do it. They just sleep on it. They don't even try. And when they do try, they just go about it so wrong. And it's not like I'm putting them down. It's just, it's easier to go about it wrong because no one's really teaching you. And even the stuff on YouTube, it's not like teaching you. It's not all together. There's no group. There's no one really holding you accountable. So just try, man. I'm saying just try. If you want to be a part of this month's theme, Brand Builder, come in now because there's only a couple spots left. It's going to close tomorrow. I only want to have a certain amount of people on the live calls because it gets too big. It gets out of hand. All right. And I want it to be more focused. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to hire someone or do some more in the future. But for now, there's going to be only a couple spots left. Okay. So make sure if you want to join us for this theme this month, we're only doing this theme like I think once every 6 months. And then next month we'll do something entirely different. We'll see what the men want, what the people want. But if you're interested in this, you're one of the select few that really care about, making a brand, something that sticks out, being known. It's time to be known by people. You can't just hide. You got to be on the field playing the game, man. You can't be behind the scenes all the time, cuddled up and nurtured and, just fizzling out, getting older and not making anything of yourself. So really, it's time to step it up. It's time to be known. Even if it's just like for something little, man, such as yo-yoing. Like, you can do it, dude. You can do it. Even if it's something like, I don't know, sneaker reviews or cooking recipes or maybe putting a spin on your new sports talking, whatever it want to be, man, whatever you want it to be, you get to do. And it starts with you just having that courage and that confidence to step up, okay? So if you're interested, man, I'm going to work with you personally. Me and the group, we're going to get you in. Get in while you can. I'm going to close it tomorrow, okay? There's a link down below at the Momo Box. It's the theme this month. We're only doing it one time, okay? So get in. I really think that if you do it, then you will see a clear focus and area where you need to go, okay? You will be like, aha, I see what I have to do. Take 1 month to really plan the strategy, get the blueprint down, and then for the next year, you'll just have aim and focus. You'll know what to put your energy into. You'll know what's next after you get to point A. Once you get the 1,000 true fans, you'll know what to do with them. You'll be set up for success, okay? So really think about it. Take the time. It's not for everyone. I already know that. I've worked with people that it's just not for them. I know that they don't have it in them. A lot of people are undisciplined. First off, a lot of people are struggling with the bare necessities, the essentials. So they're not even at this level yet. Like, this is self-actualization. You kind of want to be ahead. You want to be fit. You want to be healthy. You want to kind of like start to already be positive up here. You're not struggling with depression and stuff. I mean, unless you want that to be your brand. And there's nothing against those guys. I'm just saying, we got to rise up, man. This is at the top. So really take some pride in what you're doing, all right? And I hope to see you guys in there. I'm going to end this video. If anything, if you got anything from this video, just know that you're capable of more. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. And the reason that most people fail is because they never even try. They never even get started. And getting started, battling that inertia is one of the hardest things in life. It really is. It's one of the hardest things to set on a different route, to do anything differently. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So it's just taking that first step into the unknown. But again, don't just like go into the abyss. Have a group with you, have a healthy community, start a tribe, or become part of mine. And I'm going to show you how, okay? I'm going to show you with everyone else. We're going to guide you through the way. So, guys, hope to see you in there. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you soon, bros. Have a great weekend. Have a great Memorial Day. And let me know what you're doing. Post your group down below if you want to. Check out the link. I hope to see you in the Facebook group, all right? Peace.